Okay, so you should have had time to do questions 1 and 2. And we want to keep in mind what this end in mind is, which is identifying which descriptive words and phrases, okay, that create the mood of hopelessness and desperation in the story. So we're looking for those descriptive words, okay? Descriptive words would be adjectives or descriptive phrases. So you've got adjectives in there, but it's more than one word. That supports that hopelessness feeling where it's like, oh, woe is me. And that's what we're looking for in our reading, okay? So we want to pick up on page 71. So if you don't mind to grab that up, that's where we stopped. Fix my chair so I can stand. All right, all right, that's enough for today, the warden said. I've waited this long, I can wait another day. And Mr. Sir drove her back to her cabin. I wonder how she knew all our names, Stanley said as he walked back to the compound. Well, she watches us all the time, said Zigzag. She's got hidden microphones and cameras all over the place, in the tents, the rec room, the shower. The shower? Asked Stanley. He wondered if Zigzag was just being paranoid. The cameras are tiny, said Armpit, no bigger than the toenail on your little toe. Well, Stanley had his doubts about that. He didn't think they could make cameras that small, microphones maybe. And he realized that was why X-Ray didn't want to talk to him about the gold tube at breakfast. X-Ray was afraid the warden might have been listening. One thing was certain, they weren't just digging to build character. They were definitely looking for something. And whatever they were looking for, they were looking in the wrong place. Stanley gazed out across the lake toward the spot where he had been digging yesterday when he found the gold tube. He dug that hole into his memory. Chapter 16. Well, as Stanley entered the rec room, he could hear X-Ray's voice from all the way across the room. See what I'm saying? X-Ray said. Am I right or am I right? Well, the other bodies in the room were little more than bags of flesh and bones dumped across broken chairs and couches. X-Ray was full of life, laughing and waving his arms around as he talked. Yo, caveman, my man, he called out. And Stanley made his way across the room. Hey, slide on over, Squid, said X-Ray. Make room for the caveman. Stanley crashed on the couch. He had looked for a hidden camera in the shower. He hadn't seen anything. And he hoped the warden hadn't either. What's the matter? Asked X-Ray. You guys tired or something? And he laughed. Hey, keep it down, will you? Groaned Zigzag. I'm trying to watch TV. And Stanley glanced uncertainly at Zigzag, who was staring very intently at the busted television screen. Well, the warden greeted the boys at breakfast the next morning and went with them to the holes. 4 dug in the holes and 3 tended to the wheelbarrows. Glad you're here, X-Ray, she said to him. We need your sharp eyes. Well, Stanley spent more time pushing the wheelbarrow than digging because he was such a slow digger. He carted away the excess dirt and dumped it into previously dug holes. He was careful not to dump any of it in the hole where the gold tube was actually found. He could see the tube in his mind. It seemed so familiar, but he just couldn't place it. He thought that it might have been the lid to a fancy gold pen. KB could have been the initials of a famous author. The only famous author he could think of was Charles Dickens, William Shakespeare, and Mark Twain. Besides, it didn't really look like the top of a pen. And by lunchtime, the warden was beginning to lose her patience, and she made them eat quickly so they could get back to work. If you can't get them to work any faster, she told Mr. Sir, then you're going to have to climb down there and dig with them. Well, after that, everyone worked faster, especially when Mr. Sir was watching. Stanley practically ran when he pushed his wheelbarrow. Mr. Sir reminded them that they weren't Girl Scouts. That's where the reading stops. Now, the questions you are going to post online today are questions 3 and 4. That's going to be your Google Classroom questions. Now, your number 3 question is your end in mind question, okay? And you will find your evidence for question 3 on pages 72 and 73. So I'm giving you a hint because it is such a new end in mind for us. Mood is sometimes tricky, okay? So you're going to be looking at 72 and 73 to find words or phrases that support or make you envision something that would be hopelessness and desperation, okay? So 3 and 4 go into the Google Classroom. See you in a bit. Bye.